it's a whiteout basically on the one side there. So what we're going to do is remove the lens. We are aware in first century Rome that it's the lens in the eye is clouding up. So we've got to get the lens out. That's the whole point of it there. So first of all, we're going to relax you. So what I might do to relax you, if I can find it, where's it gone? It's got here somewhere. It's a little tiny, blown away I think, doesn't matter. It's a little tiny bag, sort of cloth bag with fennel in it. And I'll put that into a mug and we pour hot water on it. So you're getting an infusion of fennel. So that's going to start to relax you a little bit there. Then what we might do is start giving you some opiate. We've got opium. We know that because Rome is dealing with China, with the steppes and so on there, what is now Afghanistan, so we've got opium, that's on the go, that's being used recreationally, as well as medicinally. So we'll just give you a little drop of that. So basically, we're starting to give you laudanum there, as well, because you're going to give you wine. So you've got a mixture of fennel, alcohol, and opium. So you're going to get quite relaxed. Okay, so not too bad, not drunk and all that, extremely chilled out, and you're also going to be numbed slightly from this. What we'll do then is we're going to drop some opiate into the eye that we're going to work on, and we'll use this little instrument called a coucher, okay? And that's the business end, but this end you've got a little teardrop on it. So what you do is you dip that into your solution, and if you notice then you'll get a little drop coming on the end there. I'll just encourage it to come off. There we go. And I've done an experiment there with it on a piece of paper, and that's exactly the same drop every time, the same size. So you've got a measured dose there, which will drop into the eye. So that's going to numb the eye a little bit as well. And then we can shudder in this. Oof, terrible, isn't it? And then
hold Andy's hand if you're right.
And then we bind up the good eye. So the eye that we're not going to work on, we'll put a cloth over. Okay? Now that'll lessen the blink reflex. And we'll have one of our assistants then to hook. And I just noticed something I shouldn't be doing. Pardon me. We didn't have glasses in those days.
It's here somewhere.
That's right. No, where's he gone? So we'd have one of our assistants then to hold the eye open so you couldn't blink, and lessen the blink reflex. When we've done that, then we have to make the first incision. So we're going to use our little scalpel. You can see how delicate those are. And you've got a choice of two blades there to use, whichever one you particularly fancied using. Obviously razor sharp, and these were iron. Probably made in Spain, finely ground out then by a cutler. So it would be a workman such as my friend next door here, Wagstaffius, who'd finish off this, and in fact he did make all the equipment here. And then I'm going to make the cut on the iris, the outside part of the iris there. Now this is where the skill of the surgeon comes in, because you've got to be ambidextrous. So if I'm working on say, your left eye, I'm going to use my right hand. If I'm working on your left eye, on your right eye, I'm going to use this one there. Okay? So I'll make a cut, make the incision there on the outside part, just far enough down to gain access down to the lens there. I don't want to go any further. And that's the skill of the surgeon, and that's why you've got to have an absolutely steady hand when you're doing this. Otherwise, if you pierce the eye, all the fluid's going to come out, your eyeball will collapse, and you're finished basically, you've lost your sight. So once I've cut down through there, then I'm going to take the coucher again, and we're going to use the spike on the end this time, to just reach in and engage the lens and ease it out. So out comes the lens. Okay. Now if we can get the lens completely out, all the better. Otherwise, if we'll just displace it out of the way. Now I can't stitch up the eye once I got rid of the lens. I've got no way of doing that in this period. That's way ahead. You're only talking about the 40s. Paul, how are you, mate? Sorry. Salve, Paul.
Yeah,
we get all these slips this morning. You're terrible, isn't it? So I can't actually stitch the eye up. There's no way of doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few drops in, possibly using that, of mild salt water. Okay? And that will cause you to cry. It'll set the tear ducts in motion there. And of course there's nothing like tears for keeping your eye clean. That's what they're designed for. It's the best way of doing it. That's going to start the healing process. Right? Then we'll bind that eye up. So your good eye there then is unbound, that's left free. We'll bind the eye up there and we'll keep it closed for a few days. And then eventually we'll open it. Now it might take some time with some warm water to actually open the eye there, because you're going to get quite a build-up around it. And what you'll see is actually not too far off what I'm seeing at the moment. Okay? You'll be able to see colours, you'll be able to distinguish things Okay, they'll be out of focus, obviously, because there's no lens there. But you'll be able to see some sort of colour as well around there. So you can see that there's two folks standing here, and that one of them is wearing sort of green and white stripes, and the other one's not. And you've got quite striking colour on there, and there's a gentleman here. So I'd be able to see where I think you'd be able to navigate. Okay, you wouldn't have that close, sharp vision, but you'd be able to navigate, which of course is a world of difference from a fog whiteout. That's the thing there. So that's how it's going to be performed. The Indians were doing this about 1,000 years BC, and the technique was then developed. It was brought through the Mesopotamian period there, so kind of Iraq and around there, and then into the Roman era where it was perfected, and then of course forgotten about.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember in the 1960s when my grandmother had her cataracts done at St Lawrence Hospital in Chepstow. There was the plastic surgery hospital. She was lying on her back for 2 weeks without moving, and it was a very similar operation, very similar procedure, but with stitches. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, my father's going to be having it done fairly shortly. He'll be in for a couple of hours. He did say, technically, he could drive home. Amazing. You don't really think about it. Well, I could do, couldn't I? That would save a lot of time. Get her on the kitchen table and away to go.
No NHS queues. Thank you.
There we are. Pleasure. Thank you.
I did read this There we go. Well, thank you very much.